Danish armed forces are planning to send soldiers to Ukraine for training. Several teams of Danish soldiers are set to be deployed to Ukraine, according to the commander of Danish ground forces, Major General Peter Boysen. They will be unarmed and drawn from various military regiments. The Danish command is especially interested in Ukraine's 3 years of frontline experience in drone warfare.
In my 42 years of service in the armed forces, I have never seen events develop so quickly. We're sending some teams down to see what experiences the Ukrainians have had firsthand, so those who operate with it on a daily basis, and not just me, come down and get that experience.
The number of training courses has not yet been finalized, though Boysen told TV2 that instructors and soldiers are expected to take part in sessions lasting 1 to 2 weeks, starting as early as this summer. A Russian drone attack on the city of Dnipro killed 3 people and wounded at least 30 on April 16, reported the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Lysak. Among the injured is a 9-month-old girl and 2 boys aged 6 and 11. 16 patients remain in hospital, 1 in a serious condition, said Lysak. A dozen apartment blocks, an educational institution, a dormitory, a gymnasium, shops and cars were damaged. According to city mayor Boris Filatov, Russian forces may have intended to strike the city council building. However, the drone missed its target and landed 100 meters away.
I am from Donetsk region, from the town of Slavyansk. I'm an internally displaced person here. I did not get over my experience there. Every time I hear the noise, I cannot use the hairdryer because the noise made by the hairdryer scares me. I cannot vacuum clean either, because I still remember the noise. I cannot get over it.
Senior Ukrainian officials arrived in Paris for high-level meetings to advance discussions on Ukraine's defense needs and long-term security. This was posted on Telegram by head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak, on April 17. Yermak, alongside Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiga and Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, are set to meet with officials from the Coalition of the Willing, including France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, as well as U.S. representatives. Earlier, Politico reported that U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Presidential Envoy Steve Witkoff were scheduled to meet with the French President and Foreign Minister for discussions this week, which an official familiar with the matter said will be focused on Ukraine. Japan transferred 30 new 4x4 off-road trucks to Ukraine, announced the Japanese embassy in Poland via X on Monday. The embassy noted that the Japanese Ministry of Defense has so far provided 101 vehicles at the request of the Ukrainian government. However, Tokyo decided to donate 30 additional trucks and will continue to support Ukraine in the fight for peace and freedom. These vehicles will complement the previously delivered fleet from Japan's Ground Self-Defense Force, which included Type 73 military light trucks, HMVs, and tracked engineering vehicles. The number of fires on Russian railroads increased in March, informed the Ukrainian Defense Intelligence on Wednesday. The March fires destroyed 6 units of traction rolling stock in Moscow, Samara, and Tver regions, as well as 9 railway signaling, centralization, and interlocking devices in the Republic of Mariel, Stavropol, and Krasnoyarsk regions, according to military intelligence. The fight against the supply of ammunition and military equipment to the Russian occupation army by rail continues, the DIU statement reads. Railways are a key means of transportation used by the Russian army to carry equipment and personnel to the combat zone. Pro-Ukrainian partisans have regularly sabotaged railroads to hinder Russian military efforts since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. North Korea has earned an estimated $20 billion in economic benefits through its military support for Russia's war in Ukraine. This is according to a South Korean think tank who published a report this month underscoring the windfall Pyongyang has received from providing troops, weapons, and ammunition. The government-funded Korea Institute for Defense Analysis assessed that North Korea reaped the most from sending munitions and supplies, noted the report. A separate Reuters investigation citing Russia's internal defense ministry uncovered that 75 to 100% of artillery shells used by a number of Russian military units are made in North Korea. Between September 2023 and March 2025, 4 cargo ships made 64 voyages transporting weapons from North Korea's Rajin port to Russia's eastern ports of Vostochny and Dunai, wrote Reuters. From there, the shells were moved by rail to storage facilities near the Ukrainian border. For the first time in more than 6 decades, Czechia is no longer dependent on Russian oil, announced Prime Minister Petr Fiala, according to Czech media on Thursday. The expansion of the Transalpine pipeline will allow Czechia to import up to 8 million tons of crude oil per year from Western sources, with the first shipment of non-Russian oil arriving from the Italian port of Trieste, said the CEO of the state-owned pipeline operator Mero. The finance minister confirmed that the cost of achieving full independence from Russian crude will be covered entirely by Mero. The switch to non-Russian oil follows a strategic decision made by the Czech government in November 2022 in response to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainian Special Operations Forces raided Russian positions in the Pokrovsk direction in the Donetsk region, capturing 2 prisoners and eliminating 8 soldiers. This was revealed by the SOF High Command in footage posted on Wednesday. One of the operators, with call-signed Kipesh, who took part in the raid, shed some light on the night's events.
We made a decision to sweep and clear. 2 remained on top of the breastwork to control the left and right flanks, while the 3 of us came down into the trench line. We came in guns blazing. We took angles and started laying down, suppressing fire. They couldn't do a thing. The success of the operation came from us completely suppressing and overwhelming the enemy. It was a professional execution.